It's very pretty.
Now your sound level ought to be a little easier.
Incredible, you ever watch it?
I hadn't even noticed it was on. Just so used to that noise.
I kind of try to like go back to like
I could go get them all.
oh yeah, I guess that does matter.
It's springtime. June 23rd.
We'll call this meeting to order. Is there anyone who's got a public presentation other than those on the agenda, which does include you? You're on the agenda. Anyone else? You?
Yes, me.
Thank you. You'll be E. We'll get to you eventually. Any other business that you want added to the agenda? Very good. For the Sheriff's Department. Hi.
Howdy.
Got anything special for us other than our report?
I have nothing to report. That even seemed pretty lackluster, which is good, so,
It's wonderful.
yeah.
I mean, animal problems, love those animal problems. All right, then, welcome, glad to have you with us. Commissioner Smiley isn't here, but Commissioner Rosenkrantz, do you have anything?
I do. I would like to say a few words about the proposed Emergency Medical Services District, for which we will be asking your support. And I'm going to start by talking about why it's not necessary right now. Because across the county we have high-functioning fire departments providing high-quality emergency medical services. And from my perspective, that's exactly the right reason to form it now. There is no pressure. Urgency in a crisis leads to decisions that are not as thoughtful as decisions that are made in calmer conditions. What we're trying to avoid, and this is the spokesman review from 3 weeks ago, Wednesday, August 13th, 2025, front page. We're at that point of critical collapse. This is Stevens County. I talked to their commissioners, and they really wish they had formed an EMS district before it became a crisis. Because now that they have a crisis, it is much harder to get people to the table to agree. The benefits of an emergency medical services district, when it's needed, are the ability to get people at the table and take county-wide action in unison. The taxing part of it, from my perspective, and I have said this repeatedly, is really a much lower priority than the ability to coordinate among agencies. Some of them do it pretty well now. Having the structure, formal structure, with legislative authority behind it, and the EMS districts are creatures of the state. They created the EMS district. That provides the means by which to get things done that absent the EMS district just can't get done. So, in brief, and I'll welcome your questions in a minute, forming the district now, and at Fire District 5 last week, I liked their position, which they haven't expressed formally in writing yet, but as their chair said, yeah, probably best to form it and park it, meaning form it and just put it on the shelf, kind of like a fire extinguisher. You don't know when you're going to need it or what purpose it will serve, whether it's a kitchen fire or a bathroom fire, but you have it ready. So I've been working on this for a long time. I liked what my new friend Mark said about this. That crank has been turning for quite a while. I've never heard that expression before. I believe that the commissioners will be leading up to one more public hearing and then a vote. We had 2 public hearings. There were significant requests for draft bylaws, which I drafted and kind of threw everything in there I could think of to give the fire districts autonomy, not infringe on their individual districts. So I put in their unanimous voting. And we're collecting those comments, and if you have any, we'd love them by early October. And that's what I got. I welcome your questions.
Any questions for the commissioner?
As a firefighter of District 4 and not an employee, I do support the EMS levy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anything else? Bob, thank you.
All right, Mayor.
Always
Council.
appreciate having you here with
I
us.
love being in
And
there.
you're off.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McHenry is not in tonight. I assume fires have got him very busy today. We do have a special presentation from SCJ Alliances, if I got that right. This is Allison Zimmerman.
Hello. So my name is Allison. I am here on behalf of SCJ Alliance. We are a planning consulting firm. We also do construction management, architecture, engineering. So we have quite the depth of services that we can pull on. And we all work as a team. So if we have questions about infrastructure and stuff, we've got all the experts right there. So right now, Metaline Falls is looking at doing, updating what they call a comprehensive plan. And that is kind of like a plan that looks at all of your city policies and goals and stuff and puts it all together in a couple different sections. So for example, there's capital facilities, which includes like your city, your water, you've got your transportation, so roads and bridges, and parks, and everything that the city kind of manages or even coordinates, even if they don't own it. And so that plan, on behalf of the department, the state requires you to be in compliance with that plan. And you can choose not to. However, it does, if you want any state grant funding or any money at all, you have to be in compliance with that plan. So I am here to say that we would be a great candidate to help you guys write or update that plan. The director of planning at our firm, she just came from the Department of Commerce and actually, I believe, wrote your comprehensive plan the last go around, so she's very familiar with it. Our firm is made up of a lot of people who do come from rural backgrounds. We're local to the area. I myself live in Elk. I volunteer with the Fire District 4 in Pomeroy County, and so we're very local. We understand small community needs as opposed to some of the bigger firms out there that that might not give you quite the personal touch that we can when doing your comprehensive plan. And we're very familiar with like the natural resources, and I have animals and livestock at home, so agriculture, that's so important to the community. So does anyone have any questions on a comprehensive plan or anything else that we do?
Just for a heads up for everyone, remember our somewhat fiasco with the growth management plan? Well, this is another one of those that we have deadlines and we have to have them. What the state is encouraging us to do is basically for the small towns to work together and hire consultants in order to get the work done. And so that's what we're working on right now. We're talking with Newport and Ione and Metaline as well. We're trying to coordinate, and we're hearing from consultant groups right now as to their availability and what they can offer us. Certainly this particular one has a local feel to it. It's not someone from Seattle or Portland or what have you. This is a more local agency, and we'll definitely be looking at them as we move forward in this. I am so thankful you took the time to, I said you could have 20 minutes, and I was told, well, that isn't gonna happen.
No, I don't think I could fill 20 minutes.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, then We gotta work on those skills.
So, I can talk for 20 minutes, but I don't think anybody wants me to just talk.
Allison, would you be one of the consultants working with us then?
I would, and then you know Rochelle Bradley, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
She would be one of the PMs on it, and then Jen Dial would be the point of contact, kind of senior leader on it as well.
Very
So,
good.
Yep.
How often is this done?
The updates are done every 10 years, but they forecast out, I believe, 20.
Yes.
So.
We literally are planning for the next decade.
And they did the last one?
No,
Our boss did, actually.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably speak to that a little bit better, but Department of Commerce, I believe, last go around, they didn't give any funding. And this time, instead of them doing all of the comp plans and helping and being really supportive, they've taken that funding and they're giving it to the jurisdictions. So like you guys have 100,000, I believe, to allocate as you need. So if you were to keep that internally, you could keep some of that, but that does have to go towards the planning process. So you could keep some if you just needed help with one thing, you could do that. So, and
Our Growth Management Act is going to be up for renewal in '27, so we're going to be working consultant work on that as well. These are things that are just rolling along from the state. So we just simply have to meet those in order. We don't have to.
no.
We don't have to do it, but on the other hand, at that point, we are no longer eligible for state grants. And
A lot of like ecology money comes from that.
a
so
lot,
anything-
and we love ecology, don't we?
I think.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
I am so thankful you took the drive up. It's a beautiful evening.
It is.
Let me put it this way, you do not have to stay here for the entire meeting if you want to get back out on the road. Or if you want to stay for the entertainment that is the Metaline Falls Town Council meeting, you're more than welcome.
I don't mind staying.
Oh, very good. Glad to have
I
you.
stayed for IO and they did some cool stuff. They got to vote in their new logo and I don't know, it's always fun because I know they have a lot of traffic issues and I have a transportation background and so I kind of like to hear about all of the speeding and like come up with, they've got like new pop-up roundabout ideas and all sorts of fun stuff, so.
Should really get a hold of you with our TIB grant.
Yeah.
Next!
Hi everybody, my name is Caitlin. I actually live in Ione, although I haven't been to one of their council meetings yet. And I'm here following up on another speaker that was here at the beginning of the summer, Sandy, who asked for space across from the public utility building for the community garden. And so I have some updates from the activities that we have done over the course of the summer and would ultimately like to ask you if we can continue to use that space based on the progress that we've seen thus far. So we have had events with the Girl Scout troop. So they helped us build 2 beds. We have 2 raised beds that have been filled with plants, and our harvest thus far, we've got about 21 pounds of produce. And we started really late in the season, so we think we can definitely up the yield even just with the beds that we have next season. But all of that produce, we have herbs, tomatoes, strawberries, peppers, cucumbers. Those have been taken to the post office. And we have a little box there, and we've told people that they can just take whatever they'd like. Another member of the board, Chris, has periodically, she's been the one who's been kind of harvesting and then packaging the produce. Everything's gone within a day. So we think that helps kind of show that there is a demonstrated kind of need, or at least a desire for us to continue providing some free resources for the community. There's also some additional interest from the Boy Scouts, although we need to do a little bit more planning in order to potentially do activities with them. We've also completed our 501c filing, so we're now a registered nonprofit organization, and we've identified 3 different sources for grant funding, including the Kalispell Tribe, which has a grant deadline that comes up at the end of this month. We have a plan kind of based on these different funding sources to potentially get some additional beds, some more plants, seeds, materials, register so we can have a website to kind of further bring together the community when people are living so far apart. Having a web presence, I think, would be really helpful. And we're just getting started, but we've seen a lot of success so far, and we think that there's a lot of room to grow and continue to engage this community.
21 pounds?
Yes,
That's
it's mostly cucumbers. They're very water heavy, but somebody's probably making some, great pickles.
Now, have you had any problem like with animals or, and I hate to say the word pilfering? Has someone been harvesting?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, if they have, so we've talked about this. One of the plans that we've kind of built into the budget, and what we've done is we've looked at kind of granting cycles. I think the Kalispell one is the only one that's left for this calendar year. Looking at some of those other sources would bring us into 2026. And one of the things that we had potentially budgeted for one of those future granting cycles is looking at a fence or ways that we could kind of help enclose some space. But we haven't had issues with pests. We've put up some pretty kind of tall netting around the beds as they are. And honestly, if like somebody needed some food and they took some produce in the state that it's in, that's fundamentally one of the purposes of this project.
That's marvelous. Monty, any response for the use of the property? Any problems or anything?
I just have to see their plan. I can't impede my roadway, but,
Okay.
more and more boxes. Are they gonna mow the yard here eventually, so, and weed whack around that stuff? Or is
Okay.
that still gonna be me? 'Cause it's,
Okay. Things for us to talk about.
Yeah, these are good questions. I actually don't think that we had allocated any money in this proposed budget. We have a whole equipment section for something like a weed whacker or a lawnmower, but those are absolutely things that we can add. We're still below the kind of average grant amount for one of the ones that we've targeted, so we have room to kind of add some things if Monty, if you want to suggest some items, or if anybody else has some ideas.
Okay.
yeah, no,
Very good.
I can't block my access.
Yeah, we just,
Absolutely understood.
That's
yeah, we
amazing.
just have to make sure that communication with Monty is priority.
Yeah, and we really appreciated your cooperation and all of your help so far.
Very good. Any questions or observations?
Have you thought about the other locations that were proposed?
We have given them some thought. I think there have been some strong arguments made from the more experienced gardeners that spot with the amount of sun that it has actually been a good location. Frankly, we have things there, so that's kind of the momentum is mostly why we wanted to continue using this space. But if there are concerns about the longevity of that as an available location, we'd rather consider moving sooner rather than later, if that makes sense.
Would it be possible to have your community garden in several locations?
I don't think we actually have considered that much. We're going to have another board meeting later this month, so we could bring that up as an item. I think the main thing that's most important is we really do need water access on those
Right,
locations.
and that's what I'm thinking I'm just throwing this out here. It would be totally up to the church council, but we have a rather nice backyard that's never used, and we have water access, and community garden beds back there would be awfully nice.
I'm happy to, I'll bring that to our next board meeting.
Thank you. Yeah.
And just as a side note, I walk around town quite a bit, and I've seen several people that just go in to see what's growing and how everything's going. So I don't think they're associated with your group, they're just curious.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll take all comers. We'd like to put, we'll put some kind of like suggestion box or information sheet out there at some point, because if people are curious, then
Yep.
those are potential volunteers, and maybe people would want to vet themselves.
Good. Where you might post things now is in the visitor center. Is, a brochure or poster or something, just to let people, go visit our community garden festival. brought before the council.
Is this the time to get specific about that, or are we just saying? Do we need
No,
any-
if
do we
you,
need
no,
to-
be specific.
No, I just didn't know if we needed a motion or if we needed.
No,
They talked about
not-
longevity, did you have any specific length of time you were requesting it for, that we would consider?
We're pretty happy with the location. I mean, we would, I think between like 3 and 5 years based on, we're looking kind of grant cycling through maybe the next year. So ideally a couple of years would be great. But we understand that, you know, that space is not ours and it could have other purposes in the future.
Probably the best thing would, after your next board meeting, is to bring a proposal that the council could vote on to approve for the next year or the next 3 years, whatever you are looking as far as growth or change. Very good. Thank you much. Thank you, Justin. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to the approval of the previous meeting, August 12th, 2025. The minutes were forwarded to the council and returned with corrections or additions, and those were sent out again. Are there any other updates from the council on those minutes? The minutes as they've been sent. Thank you, Fran. A second. Thank you, Sam. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the minutes of the August meeting are complete. Mr. Rice, anything besides the skunk population? We're up to 33 dead ones.
I was gonna say, are those caught or alive?
Well, they were
caught alive.
caught, and they moved to heaven, so count that good. Other than that, the town looks good. Any questions or comments for Mr. Rice? Excellent. Oh, I do have something for you. Well, it's for all of us. Dated August 20th. This is from the Department of Ecology. Dear Mayor Leininger, congratulations. The Metaline Falls Wastewater Treatment Facility is receiving the 2024 Wastewater Treatment Plant Outstanding Performance Award. Of approximately 300 wastewater treatment plants statewide, yours was among the top wastewater treatment plant operations in 2024. Ecology evaluates specific domestic wastewater treatment plant information for individual permit compliance. Your plant is one of the top performers for regularly meeting permit criteria, conducting monitoring, and reporting data. This is the second consecutive year that the Metaline Falls Wastewater Treatment Facility has received this award. Ecology acknowledges the exceptional level of effort required to protect water quality and provide this critical service to the community you serve. Dedicated and proficient operators are essential to successful plant operations and to protect the health of Washington waters. Thank you for your continued commitment to excellence. Monty, thank you.
It's tough. It's tough.
Sir.
As the guy who drives the community bus, I notice all these little dotted white lines along all the road cracks. When does that fill in and stuff?
Actually talked to the guy that was doing them the other day, middle of the month, he said.
Yeah, that is from TIB, the Transportation Improvement Board. We have a grant from them coming up. It's an improvement grant, and it's going to be in 2 sections. The first part is safety, and the second part will be road improvement. What they were doing is marking all the areas, you'll notice, that have either been sealed, where there were cracks, or cracks that are starting to develop. It looks like we have a disease, but is simply TIB was marking those and taking pictures for future reference for the grant.
Okay.
And so it looks strange, but they're doing their thing. And TIB is one of the resources we use from the state to help maintain our streets and our sidewalks, because to be real honest, we don't have that kind of financing available, and so we rely on this grant frequently for our maintenance for the streets.
If they get to where they're closing off the road to do the work, I could use a heads up so I can tell my passengers different places to meet me.
So there we are. Thank you, Money, and congratulations. It really, I mean, it says departments, but you are it, and we give you thanks for that. Thank you. Clerk Treasurer's report, Mr. Estrada is spending the week in class and evidently is coming away with some good information, and we're thankful for that. Tessin Maxwell is acting as our scribe tonight for the town, for the minutes, and she's filling in the office along with myself as far as what's going on. The prepayment of funds, that was just an acknowledgement that we are signing checks rather than doing it.
Prepayment of funds,
Thank you.
we'd like a motion to approve that the office
Thank you, sir.
pay bills that are due before the council meeting each month so that we can avoid incurring late charges. And those bills will be scrutinized with the treasurer's report at the following council meeting.
Thank you, Fran. The motion has been made to accept prepayment of invoices for their due date. Is there a second? Thank you. Blake, since you're here, we'll give it to you. Any other questions on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are tabling the financial report and the invoice payment. There was a small problem with a check that was sent to one place, should have gone to another, and they've miscommunicated about where the check is.
We have the check.
We have, good, we have the check.
It was one of the invoices from PUD, but it was sent to Sewell. Sewell sent it to us. The check was made out to Sewell in confusion. They let us know that it should have gone to PUD, and they returned the check to us. PUD was paid, but getting that straightened out in Springbrook is going to take a call from Springbrook during their business hours. So it's going to be fine. We just need someone to help us enter it in Springbrook.
This is a new one for us.
Yeah.
And every new occurrence takes a little bit of a learning curve. So we will table the August reports for next, but that is the only thing in the report that is delaying that. Be assured of that one. If you want to check those, check the reports or check anything else, be sure to talk to Edward when he's here next week. That will be fine. And just, I put this in, Tessin is spending a great deal of time with Edward on the Springbrook, and they have been remarkably blessed getting this together. This has not been easy, and but it's going to be there, and we'll come back to the budget in a second. Right now, every moment she is spending for the town is well worth our time. It is going to assist us in the future, and it is one of the things we're going to have to look at when it comes to budgeting, how long. One of the things I know I'm going to be bringing up is that we may finally be to the point where a full-time clerk treasurer isn't viable anymore, that we might have to need a third or a half-time person in the office, and we're going to have to talk about that, and but that'll be part of the budget.
We don't really have a full-time one now, do we?
Edward's full-time.
I think he's at 30 hours.
30 hours.
Yeah, it was.
So we can, definitely moving him to 40, but I think a second person.
There's some bigger benefits of having two people with this knowledge.
Oh, sure,
than
sure.
Instead of one.
Yeah, and maybe 30 for him, and 10 to 20 would, even 10 hours a week would be a benefit, but it's something we're going to have to discuss in budget, because that's just, things are getting more and more complicated all the time, and especially with the consulting work that's going to be necessary, that's part of that clerk's time, and so we're going to have to look at those things. When the state starts requiring more and more paperwork from us, somebody has to do it, so.
I think specifically in the short term, we're asking to revisit the wages
Right,
Right.
specifically, and then
And I'd like to make a motion, because I think that, to be fair, any work that you are doing or have done in the past should be paid at the same rate that Edward's getting. I think that's the only fair way to treat this. And so I would make a motion that we
retroactively.
um,
Look at
Make that
Tesson's hours and keep her on the same salary as Edward is at
Yes.
now. And realize Edward at this point is also on his starting salary. This is part of that. Now we'll be, with budget, we'll look at COLA and the rest of it, but we're not asking for much. Is there a second to Mr. McGeorge? Thank you, Fran. Any other questions or comments? Because trust me, she's worth it. We're not paying anybody nearly what they're worth, but we'll pay them what we can. All those in favor of increasing Ms. Maxwell's salary to be equal to the current clerk treasurer, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Moving on, Fran Maxwell, is there anything to report?
I did attend the meeting of the events that was held
Mhm.
a week or so ago, and I did volunteer to be on that board. It looked like a good group of people, and I thought the town should have someone representing them.
And I agree with you. It's going to be exciting things as we continue forward on that. So,
If I could bring up one other thing that's not really connected to this.
Of course.
But as I was walking up here tonight, I noticed the area around the telephone booth
yes.
looks very dry and sad and doesn't really have any plants. Do you think we could plan maybe for next year to maybe put in some pretty bushes or something? Because a lot of people stop there and take their pictures and have all kinds of fun with that phone booth, and I thought, maybe it should
It
be.
is one of our touristy spots in town because there are kids who have no idea what that thing is. They have no idea that Superman changed his clothes in there. So yeah, I think water access will be problematic, but we'll talk with Monty and see what, we could certainly even just rock the area.
Yeah,
You know,
something.
we could,
But also, if we had any kind of plans, Nancy might work that into her, now that she's got that nifty little budget.
And she's gone.
Oh. She'll be back.
No, I don't.
the phone booth made Facebook. People had been visiting and went, we found a phone booth, and you know, my thing was, it doesn't work, but we got a phone booth. So
Move it up to the train car.
we could. It's just sitting there and nobody owns it anymore officially. I mean, they don't exist, so that's fine. Interesting. Thank you, Fran, thank you. And just as a heads up, we will be coming up on some evaluation times before the end of the year. I want to get those done before I leave office, so you and I will sit down and look at some dates. Mr. McGeorge.
Nothing really to report. The skunk problem has pretty much disappeared. A lot of people have commented that they're not having an issue anymore. So that's definitely appreciated. When you were gone and I went down, I sent a notice out about traffic signs for the village. Got a response back from the county. They said Commissioner Smiley will contact us on that.
Excellent.
There is a speed limit sign, so you go in there.
They just want a child playing
Yeah.
sign, things like that. So,
Especially with the increased traffic that's going to be going through there. That is interesting. Mr. McHenron, what information do you have?
I have.
Since we didn't have you at the beginning.
Yeah, so Town of Metaline Falls had a total of 7 EMS calls for the month of August. Fire District 2 had a new total of 238 calls. This is a record call for a month for us. Last year at this time it was 221 calls. So
Wow.
the town's call numbers went down, but in the county it's been busier.
It's been this year. How's Fire District 2 responding to other fires, and are some of the crew out?
Yes. So we are not part of the Tacoma Creek fire. That
Okay.
started in Stevens County, so most of their resources come from over there. It has crossed over into Pondere County, but we're not a part of that. We do have 7 ambulances out throughout Oregon and Washington. So that's revenue that is generated and brought back into the fire district to make things better here. While we're doing that, we still also run all of EMS services from the city of Newport North to the Canadian border. So
Excellent.
Yep.
But 7 of them are out. That's
7,
really, that's
yep.
amazing.
Yep.
And most of those are out on fires.
yeah, they're all fires of
Okay.
some sort somewhere.
Very good. Tessin Maxwell.
Nothing to report.
Very good. Mayor is, I'm going to be attending the Mayor's Forum October 3rd in Wenatchee. It's a day-long event. It's sort of a last chance for me to meet with some of the other mayors and bring back any more information for our next mayor. I will be out of town this month from the 18th to the 26th. I'm going to go take a short vacation to see my sister in Maine. As of this morning, the lake temperature was 72 degrees, so even if it starts snowing, the lake will be nice. Rural Resources contacted us today. They have used the City Hall for the food bank, the food distribution. They got a new grant, but their scheduling is this. They've had to move their food distribution to Mondays. They want to do Metaline Falls on the 4th Monday of every month from 1 to 3 o'clock. That should not be a problem. We've had the office open before, or the building open before when they've done this. They are extremely diligent with cleanup and organization, and because it will be a monthly event in one spot, there won't be the bouncing around. To be honest, they had hoped to get the Legion, but Mondays are the dinners, and they just can't do both events at the Legion. So they asked us, I said yes, with the council approval. Is there any problem with us continuing to host Rural Resources and the food bank once a month? 4th Monday? Excellent. Thank you very much. The other thing that has affected the use of the building is that there had been a plan for a mayor's debate, but a date could not be agreed upon for both of them, and so they're looking at individual events, and basically state guidelines tell us that to use this facility, they both have to be present, or they both have to agree to hold their event here. We can't host just one of them. And so I'm leaving that up to the Sun to coordinate, but it looks like they're both planning their own events, and I haven't heard yet where those events are going to be happening. So we'll keep you posted on that as far as that goes. And that is everything I have on my desk. All right, old business. Anything on the Tolja K Park?
We got the certificate of insurance from the contractors. They're still looking at this fall for construction, so we should be on the calendar, and let you know as things improve there.
Dependent upon when they finish, we'll have to as soon as we know, we'll have to contact the family and
Right.
arrange for, you know, when it will be convenient for them to come and have a dedication. So we'll plan that accordingly. I am looking at getting some feedback on the signage. Money took down all the businesses because they were starting to fall off anyway. Part of our problem has been, of course, is that we don't have a lot lengthwise. It's a fairly, but if we look at doing one slightly looking at the bridge and doing another one across, looking slightly coming from Canada, that might be a way to handle those intersections as far as signage is concerned, and just get people into town after they get here, getting them, you know. I always love watching visitors come up the hill and they're trying to decide, because the signs in the flower pot are fairly small, and we might have to look at some other kind of signage to get that. We're also looking though at the cutter sign at the end needs to be redone, and then also looking at the signage down on the highway, and who actually owns it, who's been painting on it, and what we can do with that signage as well. So we do have some signage, but we're looking at sort of a packaging idea as far as that goes, and what kind of design we have will have to come to the council. I'm gonna have you people, I'm as little as possible trying to make fewer and fewer decisions. TIB, to answer your question, the little leopard spots all over town are interesting, but they are simply there for TIB's reference when they start to look at the second part of the grant for next year. The safety project was tabled. The work won't begin until next spring, but that has to do with getting the grant itself cleared, getting the money cleared through. So we will simply be looking forward to that. And then on the stormwater and lift station grant updates, looks like at least for the stormwater project, we're almost clear and ready to go. They're crossing their fingers and hoping that they can maybe start this autumn. If the autumn runs long, then they can possibly get some work done this year before finishing the project. So hopefully by next summer, we will have the stormwater out of our wastewater system and our little swells all over the community. Any other old business do you want to bring up? Anything? New business, big thing is the budget. Thanks to Tessin and Edward for getting the preliminary. This is something that the council, we need to set one, if not two, work dates. These are public meetings, so I have to post them as far as people can come in and offer their 2 cents. But we want to take a look at the calendar. Realize that we also have to hold 2 hearings. One will be in late October, and one will be at the council meeting, before the council meeting in November before the vote. And so at least, you're gonna need at least 2 work sessions and then 1 public hearing sometime late in October. I'm leaving it to the council to decide when you want to do this, what works best for you people. Is it like a Sunday afternoon? Is it Friday morning at 5 a.m.? I think that would get us.
Edward's gonna be gone the 25th through was it the 25th through the 3rd? I can't remember what he wrote down.
Yeah.
So that week would not be great.
So the end of September.
So we either need to do it prior to the 24th or after October 3rd, I think. And we do need 2 of them.
Well, if we can look at early October though, even if we're looking at like, council meeting isn't until the 14th.
I've given the council this it's actually like a 3.5-year comparison.
Yeah.
If you guys wanted to take that home now, would you be willing to come back with your initial questions on the 22nd? That's when MRSC says we should have our initial estimates from our department heads, that's you guys. So if we could do a work session on Monday, the 22nd, and then again in October, does that work for anyone?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, 6 o'clock,
okay.
Sure.
6 PM budget. Okay, I can get that posted and in the paper as well, so we can do that. That'll give you at least a little bit of time, couple weeks in fact, to sort of plow through what they presented. And the comparison numbers are important. Once again, the priority this year is definitely going to be salary. That's even better. Then we can hold a public hearing later in October, and then the final hearing prior to the meeting. Okay, that'll give us some good time to get that. Excellent. All right. Any comments from 11th, which is Veterans Day? I prefer not to have a council meeting that day, but it doesn't hurt anyone's feelings if we take time during the meeting to acknowledge that. Just a heads up. All right, I'm just looking further and further ahead. Is there any other business to be brought before the council? Robert?
So I wear two hats on this one regarding Phoenix Village, and I'm on the board of Rural Resources, and I chair the finance committee. So I'm following From a county perspective, we now have received the construction assessment of the work that needs to be done, along with the finance report associated with it. I'm only one commissioner, so I can't say that the county is in a position to subsidize the acquisition to a certain extent, but I certainly look favorably upon it. So we'll be working on that, and it's moving forward. Thank you.
Wow. That's good news. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anything else? Motion to adjourn. There's a motion. We'll go on a second. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.